Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sis Talk Saturday. I am Keela, your boss sis board lead, owner of Travel Fly Adventures, and today I have with me a very special person. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jessica Starks, and I am also on the board. I'm the Mississippi rep, and I'm the owner of JD Scribes and Bond Small Business Group.
Yes, I'm so happy that Jessica's here with me today, and we have such a great topic to talk about. We're going to talk about balancing your work and family priorities, or just trying to balance your personal life with your work life, especially when you're a business owner. As you know, running a business is a lot of work. We've talked about it, over the past couple of weekends, having a growth mindset, um, reflecting on business lessons learned from our setbacks that we've had in the beginning of our businesses, and then today we're going to talk about kind of balancing that and how we balance that. So Jessica, I want to ask you, as an entrepreneur, how do you navigate the conflicting commitments between building your business and spending time with either your family or just spending time with your friends?
Well, one thing that I've really learned over the years is to make sure that, um, you're not just like living around work, that, things aren't revolving around your work schedule. If it's something that you want to do, make sure that you make time for that first. And that way, you still have that flexibility in your schedule. You still get to do what you want, but you can balance, that work time out. So I would say definitely, don't just work to live, you don't
Mm-hmm.
want to use it as a means of survival or as a means of coping or, whatever the case may be. Make sure you enjoy your life first. So whatever it is that you want to do, make sure you prioritize that over anything.
Absolutely. For me, I found that setting a schedule for myself was really helpful because before I used to be very willy nilly with my time. And I would be like, oh, yeah, I could do that. I'd be Johnny on the spot for everything. But then my family started to suffer and that became a problem. And so I don't want to do that because my whole why is my family, right? They always ask you, what's your why? Well, my why is my family and being there for them and being able to spend that extra time with them. And so I need to make sure that they're around. So setting that schedule for myself and actually sticking to it. Like if I say I'm only going to work Monday, Wednesday, Friday, then that's just to throw it out there. It doesn't have to be your schedule, but making sure that I stick to that schedule and work on those days. So I found that that's been helpful to me. And have you faced any particular obstacles or difficulties in trying to balance your work and, friend life or family life? And how did you overcome them?
Yeah, for sure. Because I've always been a bit of a workaholic. Um, and I noticed too that I started to use work as a way of coping with things. So if I was upset about something, I'd go to work. If I was sad, I'd go to work. If I was, mad or whatever, I'd go to work. And so I had to learn that that's not the way to cope with things. You got to kind of tackle some things head on. You can't just put a mask over it. And then the other thing that I learned is that, well, I noticed for myself is that I was working so much because it was like, okay, I got to make sure I can pay my bills or I can do this for somebody's birthday or I'll be ready for Christmas. But then I started to realize, okay, but if I stress myself out so much, I'm not going to be here to enjoy anything that I've worked for.
Mhm.
So I really had to learn that, it's okay to enjoy the fruits of your labor. You don't have to just buy yourself stuff all the time or go on trips all the time or whatever the case may be. But it's okay to, just kind of relax and have fun sometimes. And then I also learned, like you have your office hours. Sometimes things happen and it's okay maybe to just be like, okay, I got to close early today or, go in later, whatever the case may be, because a lot of entrepreneurs treat their businesses like a full job. Not saying that it's not a job, but if you don't go to work, who's going to fire you? You know? So the only person who can fire you is you, and you're not going to do that. So just make sure that you use that authority that you have as an entrepreneur and allow yourself to enjoy the work that you do and enjoy what comes from it.
This is true. And I really appreciate you saying that. A lot of what you said resonated with me because I also tend to be a workaholic and I hide my problems in my work because that's the one spot where I don't have to worry about whatever that pressing issue is because I'm just all in, right? And I'm just focused on this what's seemingly like a smaller problem, right? Instead of taking care of what actually needs to be taken care of with that. But I forgot what I was going to say. Because I got involved in that, but that's all right. It does go along with that. Those are some of the obstacles that we as, entrepreneurs face, being a workaholic, hiding ourselves in our business. So we don't want to do that, but we definitely want to take time to spend, with our families and different things like that. So
Mm.
how do you manage stress then? How do you avoid burnout when you're juggling multiple responsibilities, between work and home?
If I'm honest, well, if I said I had it figured out, I would be telling the truth. But some of the things that I have kind of figured out is to take time for the small things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like even if it's just taking a longer shower, like, do those small things to take care of yourself. Or maybe if it's like, Bath and Body Works keeps a sale. So if you really like smell good stuff, get some of those lotions, just take time to put the lotion on. That's a way to do those self-care things. So those are things I've learned. Like I'm a big milkshake person. I love milkshakes. So like if somebody's like, I had a hard day at work, I needed a drink, I don't drink like that. I drink milkshake. So if it's something, say it's like, okay, I landed a new client today, or I made it through a meeting without getting annoyed, or anything simple, I'm gonna give myself a milkshake. So it's small stuff like that. Those are ways to kind of reward yourself and to take care of yourself. But I know some people like they like to get pedicures and things like that. Um, I really like massages, so I'll get a massage every so often. Just little things like that I think are really helpful for people, but just make sure it's something that you really like. Don't do stuff just because your friend said this was really cool or she likes this. Like find the things that you like, even if they're simple. If it's just you going outside and walking around for a little bit and getting some sun, just make sure you do the things that make you feel good. And I think that's a great way to practice your self care.
For me, I like to unplug. Um, I'll get off of social media, get off of everything, and I want to just because I'm on it all the time. So I just want to sit there and do nothing. It's so
Yeah.
nice sometimes to literally do nothing. And you say, Keela, what are you doing? Nothing. I'm not answering my phone. I'm not talking to nobody. I'm just, with my baby girl, or I'm with my husband, or we're just, but I'm doing nothing, actively doing nothing. I may just be in a nightgown doing nothing. And that is great to me because, sometimes you really need that, right? You really need that time to just unplug and get away from everything. And sometimes your phone can be a stress source for you. So turning it off is a way to help you manage that if
Yeah,
you take
that's
that
true.
equation out of there, right? So do you have any advice for other female entrepreneurs who are trying to find the right balance between work and just life period? Like what's that
Mm.
good balance? What kind of advice do you have to give to them?
Ooh. Um, I think I would say make sure that, like I said, you're prioritizing yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
So like for me, I know it's a little different. I don't have a husband, I don't have children to worry about. So you want to make sure that you're really taking time for those that mean the most to you. So for example, like me, especially with the summer being out, my niece and my nephew are running around my house. So I found activities for them to do, but I'm like, okay, these are during work hours. I'm like, you know what? No, I'm gonna take my break too. So sometimes I'll use that as an excuse, like, no, I gotta take them to the library. No, I gotta take them to the theater. No, I gotta take them, to lunch or something. I'll use that as my time to relax, but I'm still getting to connect with them at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So I would suggest that for anybody who maybe they have children or have a spouse. You can use those times where you can still connect, but you can get away from your work for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, I would still say find those self-care methods that work for you because they can be great stress relievers.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, my thing is milkshakes. You might like wine,
I
drink some
do.
wine.
And I do.
Or, like find a new Netflix show that you can binge watch. Even if you don't take the whole day, give yourself 30 minutes, give yourself an hour. Just do those things to kind of unwind because if you allow yourself to just constantly keep going and pushing through, that burnout is going to come through and it's going to come through your work.
Yes.
And that's going to impact, how your customers feel. You might lose a customer and then
Yeah.
you lost money and then you
You ever
really got.
get irritable? You ever feel like super irritable? I know that's like one of my things. If I'm really getting burnt out, I start to feel real irritable about stuff. And then I'm like, ha.
Right. And I'm just ready to get this over with. And I don't want to be
Yes.
like that,
Mm-hmm.
So if you ever start to kind of feel like that, like I really used to love this and now I hate it, you need a break. You really need
Mm-hmm.
a break. So pay attention to your body, pay attention to your attitude. It'll tell you when it's time, to kind of back up. And I remember my mentor, she would tell me that too, like she would take a vacation, I think, like for a week every month. And it was like, I don't always have to go anywhere. It's just I'm not working,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like you were saying, I'm not doing nothing. So maybe try to do something like that. Like give yourself a long weekend, maybe Friday through Monday, you won't be working.
Absolutely.
Allow yourself that flexibility that comes with being an entrepreneur. I think we don't take our benefits the way that we should.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So take advantage of that. That's what I would say.
Absolutely. You are so like spot on with all of that. Um, go get ice cream, go do something. Like I guess, for me, because I do have a family, that plays a big part of it. Like I have kids and I have a husband. And so sometimes I really have to make sure that I'm taking time for my husband too. It's not just about, the kids all the time, but sometimes I'm like, what is he like? What can I do? Getting off early, who's going, like you said, who's going to fire you if you get off, if you give yourself closed a little bit early and say, you know what, this was something I want to do for him. Something nice, something that he likes. And it makes him appreciate, me more. And then, it doesn't, he doesn't, get like, doesn't bother him that I'm working as much when you do
Yeah.
certain things like that to make sure that they're taken care of too. Because as an entrepreneur, you do work a lot. Sometimes we do have late nights because we got something stuck in our craw and we really want to just get it out there or figure it out or think about it or whatever the case may be. I'll be on my computer, late night, like just and then they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm working. Are you still working? Yes, I'm still working. And sometimes it's like that, but if you take those moments to make special times to set aside for them, and then it doesn't bother them as much, and then it helps you have that balance that you need to have. Well, anyways, you guys, I don't want to take up too much of your time. This is just a short Sis Talk Saturday. I'm so happy that Jessica came on and gave her knowledge. You've been in business for how long now, Jessica?
Last year I was in Bond turned 5, and then JD Scribes turned 7 this past March.
Woohoo! And I've been doing this for 5 years now myself. So we definitely know, what it takes and what you
Right.
have to do. So I hope that you found these tips extremely helpful. And again, thank you, Jessica, for coming on with me today. I'm so excited. It was so nice to sit and chat with you. But I will be back next week with another, person to talk to, probably from the board, so that you can get to know about them and their business as well. So I will see you next week on Sis Talk Saturday. Take care.